If you like adventures, backpacking, and hiking, then this channel is for you. Come join the adventure, get off the couch, and get outside. Our world has so much beauty in it, and there's so much to explore, so hopefully this motivates you to get outside. I usually post weekly or bi-weekly. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel to get weekly updates and alerts. Buy the merch and support the channel. Just a little update from me. I haven't recently been able to get on trail because of weather and other circumstances. I know it's a total bummer not being on the trail. Thank you to all my subscribers who support my channel and continue to be there. Following up from my previous video, we're going to be talking about 9 hiking tips to prevent tragedy on the trail. Tip number 1, study the hiking area before your trip. For example, I use All Trails as my map and for other information. You can see how long the trail is, what the elevation gain is, the average time to hike it. And out and back just means that you have to retrace your steps, like that it's not a loop trail. If you click on the map, this is what you'll see. Basically, it'll show you the trail. You can pan around and look at different landmarks. It also shows the elevation profile. You can see this trail went straight up a mountain, and then on the way back it went downhill. The app also has photos and pictures, as well as a clear description of what the trail offers, and as well as reviews. You can see they also rate the trail as well. This one is a 4.6, which is pretty high, which it goes up to 5 stars. You can also write your own reviews if you want. Downloading offline maps is a must because most likely you're not going to have signal. You can also do it the old-fashioned way, which is carry a paper map with you. Other hiking apps that you can download for maps are Gaia, Backcountry Onyx, and many others. Also be aware of any permits that may be needed through the National Park Service, especially if you go into the Great Smoky Mountains. Tip number 2, make sure you have a time plan for your hike. Make sure you tell a loved one where you are going and how long you're going to be gone for. A general rule of thumb is to travel 2 miles per hour, adding 1 mile for every 1,000 feet of elevation gain. Many of the hiking apps will also tell you generally how long it takes to hike the trail. Tip number 3 is know your limits. If you are a beginner, make sure you hike easy trails at first and then ramp up to the moderate and then difficult trails later. The higher the number the elevation gain is, the more difficult the trail is. You can see here that the elevation gain of the trail was 702 feet. The trail that I was on was actually listed as moderate. Make sure you take breaks and don't push too hard. If you're feeling tired, make sure you turn around and go back to your car. Stay on the trail and make sure you do not take any shortcuts. Bring plenty of water and snacks. Tip number 4 is make sure you maintain a safe distance when hiking. Aim to keep a few feet between hikers. And if you're hiking in a group, make sure you do not take up the whole trail. Good hiking etiquette is absolutely necessary on the trail. If you're going downhill, make sure you give the uphill hikers the right of way. Be courteous and wait for them to pass. Or if they wave you on, continue. Make sure you know what poison ivy is and what it looks like. These poisonous plants grow along the trail. Tip number 5 is prepare for weather conditions when hiking. Make sure you check the weather forecast as every day it changes. Make sure you are wearing moisture-wicking clothing. As they say, cotton kills, so don't wear jeans or anything like that. Cotton actually retains water and does not dry out fast enough. Make sure you dress in appropriate layers. For example, in this photo, I am wearing a down jacket, a fleece, and a t-shirt underneath of that as well. If the conditions will be rainy, make sure you bring a rain jacket. Make sure to also bring a hat, sunglasses, and sunscreen if necessary. Tip number 6 is wear comfortable, supportive footwear. Footwear is a personal choice, whether you choose trail runners or hiking boots. Do not buy any Gore-Tex version of shoes because they will not dry out if they get wet. Make sure the bottom of the shoe has plenty of tread on it, especially if you're going into rocky terrain. Tip number 7, bring along essential equipment. Make sure you bring a backpack for water and snacks. Also, keep in consideration a basic first aid kit, trekking poles, flashlight, and emergency blanket. Also, bring an EpiPen if you are allergic to bees. People can have allergic reactions to bee stings. This can include hives, or swelling of the tongue, or even anaphylactic shock. Make sure you are aware how to deal with wildlife encounters when you are on the trail, including bears. Tip number 8, stay fueled and hydrated on the trail. Bringing enough water is essential. Make sure you bring at least a half a liter of water for every hour you plan to be hiking. You can also get a water filter, like a Sawyer Squeeze, and filter your water if you feel like doing that. It is also important to make sure you leave no trace with food and wrappers. Make sure you pack those out. Do your best to keep all the beautiful places that we love and enjoy litter-free. Make sure you pack lightweight, high-energy foods such as nuts, dried fruit, energy bars, and sandwiches. Our final tip, number 9, use caution with cell phones and selfies. Taking a selfie can distract hikers from their surroundings, which can increase risks of falls or cause them to miss a hazard. Every year in our national parks, someone dies when taking a selfie. Please be aware of your surroundings and do not take selfies with wildlife. Use your phone only for emergency calls and navigation as needed. Most of the time, you're not going to have cell phone signal in the backcountry. Happy trails, and thank you for joining me in this episode. I look forward to many more adventures to come, and I can't wait to share them with you all. As always, be safe on the trail. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button.